Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to part 2 of the 5.3 build. Today we're going to be pulling out the pistons, the camshaft, lifters, basically everything, just leaving the block the way it is so we could take a look at all the bearings and everything. So if you're not caught up on this build at all, go check out part 1 and the introduction of the build. After you check that out, come back to part 2 so you're all caught up. And without further ado, let's get started. Here's all the pistons, pulled them out of the motor. All the bearings so far look pretty good. Obviously we're still gonna replace them. But we're gonna keep the pistons in pretty much the same order. Well, they are in the same order when they came out of the engine, just so we can keep in track. But I guess it doesn't really matter if we're gonna eventually do new pistons and rods, if possible. But yeah, this is just in case we're gonna be using the same stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, and honestly, since I'm going to be putting new bearings, new rings, and all that, the order really doesn't matter. I was just putting them in there to have a place to put them.
Cake on it. Well, I didn't think that was the last one. Might as well, while we're at it, you could probably upgrade the oil pump.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's some upgrades that you can do to the factory ones. Like right here underneath this keyway, I guess basically you can call it a relief valve. It's really not what it's called. I forget what it's called. But there's a spring in here with a plunger, and it kind of regulates your pressure coming out of the pump. Well, you take that cap off and you can actually add shims into it to make the spring have higher pressure, and it'll boost up your oil pressure coming out of the pump. That's one little thing. It doesn't necessarily boost your volume, but it'll boost your pressure up.
I guess we're gonna stand in front for a thumbnail.
Well, the cam looks to be in decent shape. Don't look all beat up.
Well, I thought I saw, like, while I was in the engine, some rust spots, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there it is,
okay.
right there,
Yeah.
but I mean, it comes off.
Alright, to get y'all up to speed, basically we had to, well, the camera died, so I was charging it, but we had to take the motor off of the engine stand, put on the engine hoist to take off the flywheel, or since it was automatic, technically a flex plate. Take that off and then take off the back cover just so we could take out the crank. So that's where we are.
Everything about these motors is for strength and durability. That's why I like your oil pans, your timing covers, your rear cover, all that's actually a structural part of the engine. Especially your oil pan, you have to have it torqued a specific way and all that crap. They were designed that way. I mean, albeit that, torque is not very high on some of this stuff, but when you've got so many freaking fasteners, it doesn't necessarily have to be that high.
Does it look okay? A little worn.
A little worn, but I mean, it's not. I mean, for it supposedly having like 200,000 miles, I was expecting worse.
Yeah, that is true.
Honestly. Ready for the moment of truth?
Yeah.
Oi. Right. So she is damn near 100% disassembled.
Yeah. Pretty much. Now I just gotta clean her up and then find the pistons and rods, hone the cylinders.
Yep, on the cylinders.
If needed more, then we will take it to machine shop
Yeah.
and then hopefully start putting it back together. I mean, we still need to get a manifold for the carburetors. Are you gonna do dual carburetor or just one single one?
No, just one car. Single plane intake
Oh, okay.
for higher RPMs, because I do plan on spinning the shit out of it.
What's your goal RPM range?
7,000.
7? That's it.
See, if you look down in your lifter valley or in your lifter bores, the reason why the lifters were hard to get out. See that dark ring? That's just varnish buildup. Every single one of them. So that's why the lifters are so hard to get out sometimes. See, down here is your original factory crosshatch. Your rings don't come down all this way. See how there's nothing there? There's no cross hatching left. That's what leads me to believe that it is a high mileage engine, because there's just very slight evidence. You can see a few lines here and there of the cross hatching. That's what you get when you hone the cylinders, and that's what you want, because it helps for the cylinder walls to retain oil, to help break in your rings, and then your rings wear into the cylinder walls. And honestly, if you take good care of your motor and do your oil changes, I mean, yeah, that your cylinder wall is going to wear after a while, but no oil changes, super high miles, you end up with shit like that. But I'll have to mic the bores, because it's very possible that if it does have that many miles, that the cylinder walls could be wore out a little bit, to where cross hatching, honing it again won't do anything. You can see where your top piston ring comes up to right there. That's where your rings stop at. So from here to there is where you get all of your piston wear. So it is possible for, if you were to mic it right here at the throat, would be a smaller diameter than would it be here in the middle versus here at the very end, because at the very end it's never been touched. Same thing here at your ends, it's never been touched. So all of your wear is from this edge down to there. And just depending on maintenance and oil changes, shit like that, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea just to go ahead and bore them, because I could probably find a set of LS1 rods and pistons pretty cheap.
Probably.
And those will still be flat tops.
Yeah, and that would be a lot easier to hit the 500 horsepower mark too with the
Oh yeah, get 20 more cubic inches.
25 more to be exact. All right, so we're getting the motor ready to sit for next week, because unfortunately with my job I have to work out of town every week now. So next weekend we will be here cleaning the engine. I mean, hopefully we can get it pretty clean. We'll see. There's a lot of rust on it. But it's just going to take a lot of elbow grease.
Yeah. I mean, since I'm going to bore it, I may just let them deal with everything. Let them clean it.
Yeah, that's true. So it's looking like We may have to bore the cylinders. And we still really don't know just yet. But if that's the case, yeah, we'll definitely have the machine shop just clean everything, do a hot bath, and get the water jackets cleaned up. But for now, we're just gonna let it sit. We're gonna work on it next week, and I will see y'all next week.